me again. I actually had a hard time writing about my grandpa last night, so forgive me. I've been in an emotional roller coaster for 9 days. Great person. Deep breathe. I wrote something in Facebook and I copied it here to my laptop. But before I read it, I'd like to say something else because it's kind of like, I don't know if it's a poem or an essay, I don't know what I wrote. But I just outpoured my feelings on Facebook, like December 27th, like around 3 in the morning. Reading Uncle Ruby's eulogy, I was like, oh my god, exactly like me. Like when he got spanked by 5, like he almost got, it's like being hit by a feather. I remember getting spanked at 6 by grandpa, that was the only time. I think I was being really annoying to grandma. Because I used to wake up, jump on grandpa and grandma's bed, wake them up. Then he got annoyed because I was bothering grandma. So he called me. I mean, he wouldn't walk that time, so he called me. I mean, so who in the world, you would know that you're going to get spanked, and you go to the person who's going to spank you? That was me. So I came to him, told me to sit on his lap, which I did, and I don't know why, and he hit me 3 times in the butt. And it was like a feather. He was just making a point that, I mean, it's not the pain that was important. He was just making the point that you don't do that. You don't learn this in school. You don't disrespect them. I also remember him making me kwento, like when Uncle Ollie said he used his scooter to go to Baguio. I mean, he was really adventurous. That's why he actually taught me how to ride my bike properly. It's like I already know how to ride the 2-wheel bike, but he taught me how to ride it properly. He taught me like how to ride, like how you ride the horse. One leg first, then the other leg goes up. So you don't stop when you don't stop and get off the bike. So even with the gadgets, I remember. He had so many gadgets in his room. Like he had this before that time, like a laptop. It looked like a laptop, but it wasn't. It was a telephone. So I would always tinker with it, and I mean, he didn't mind. I don't know why he didn't mind me tinkering it. He had so many gadgets. He also fixed my stuff. Like I remember when I was throwing tantrums when I was younger. I broke the switch for the light in my mom's room, and my mom didn't know about it. So I got so scared because my mom at that time was a disciplinarian. She's actually loose on me now, but that time I broke her switch. I didn't know what to do. I was panicking like crazy. I rushed to my grandpa's room. I was crying. I was like, God, my grandpa, I broke my mom's switch. Then he rushed in. He was, I think, around 80 that time. He fixed it. And just still walked by going to the room. Very calm. So, this is what I wrote him on Facebook. To Manolo Gonzalez. I can remember waking up to your heavy footsteps as you walk to the bathroom every morning. The sound you'd make when your roommate would annoy you, and that rough husky voice which oddly sounded sweet and welcoming when you would call someone's attention. I can remember the time that you would visit me and ask how I was. I remember always asking why, but you left me with a smile, and I miss you. I remember when I was younger, you'd always watch out for me. From putting side mirrors in my bicycle to fixing the mess I made before my mom came home. I remember the first time I disobeyed you. And if I remember, I was willing for you to spank me. And I never hated you for that. I even remember the lot of days when he would consistently teach me how to blow my nose, from the folding of the tissue to even disposing it properly. I remember those nights when my mom was away, that I would sleep at your room. Even when I was beside you, you would still reach out to check on me if I was still there. But most of the time, you would grab my grandmother's nose. I remember so many days when I would run to you to protect me from my mom. I can also remember that every time I broke my ankle, you would always have this special medicine that you'd rub on it that would heal me quickly. I remember those exam days of mine that I would go to your room to watch TV because I wasn't allowed to do it anywhere else but there. I remember you guiding me with almost everything while growing up, watching over me when I was scared to be alone, beating chicken soup for the soul till I fall asleep, even being patient with me, even though you didn't understand what was going on during my rebelling stage. I will always remember your smile, your voice, and your sweet sense of humor that could melt a heart as cold as ice, soften a heart as hard as rock, and fill a heart as hollow as an empty box. I am so thankful for all these memories that you have left me. And I thank my God for allowing me to witness and be awake as I hear you in the other room accepting Jesus Christ as your Savior 2 weeks before you left. I love you, my grandpa. You will live forever in my heart and with God. I will see you soon, since life here is just like a breath away from where you are now. I love you so much, and I really miss you. I rejoice because you're with the Father, but I grieve because I miss you. I'm sorry and I love you. There's one more thing I remember, because a lot of you know that I rebelled a lot in high school. And you know, each time I would rebel, before I left the house, I would always say goodbye to my grandpa. He would always ask me where I was going and when I was coming back. He knew that I was coming back. But even when I talked to him in my rebelling stage and he didn't understand me, he was just so, his aura, his feeling towards me was so warm that I remember I was supposed to go to the States and study. The first person I remembered was my grandpa. I don't want to leave the Philippines because of him. I wanted to be there till actually this day, because I know that there wasn't enough time. Except in 2008, when I rushed him to Medical City, when he was sick. I just felt so hurt that I thought he was going to leave us that year. I just thank God for blessing me with another year. I wasn't visiting him as much 2008 because I honestly felt really bad. Because I really saw every single thing what they did in Medical City, and I didn't like the doctors actually for that. So 2009, end of 2008, around